Hey, if you're enjoying the content here at Dennis Sperling Unfiltered, make sure you support it by sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And also, hit that little notification bell in the corner so that you'll get notice of each and every one of our live feeds. Welcome back. This is Dennis Sperling, and I want to just tell you guys what I'm not going to do. And as a member of Generation X, what I'm not going to do is sit around and worry about a bunch of women my age who had their chance in the 1990s. I know what you were doing in the 1990s, ladies. You were thoughts before the word thought was invented. You was out there throwing that thing around to everybody that you could, having a great time, getting into parties free. And now at 40 and 50 years old, you think somebody like me who saw you do what you did is supposed to pick you up? What in the hell are you thinking about? That's my thing. And here's another thing. If I've spent my entire life building myself up to get to the point where I am now in my 40s and going into my 50s, and I'm beginning to garner power and influence, why would I pick up some old woman to bring along with me? An old woman with baggage, an old woman with issues. These are my primary earning years. This is a time where I have an opportunity to flex. This is a time for me to take up leadership in the community and politics and companies and corporations and et cetera. In your 40s and 50s, that's when men begin to maximize their power. They begin to reap the benefit of the seeds that they have planted in their 20s and 30s. It's the money and the power and the influence that comes with age. It makes all those years of sacrifice worth it. By contrast, the average 40, 50-year-old woman serves no purpose other than as a business partner, maybe if she's the same age as the man. But the idea that a 40 or 50-year-old man with money and power and years of sacrifice and delayed gratification, who is single, would then take up some 40 or 50-year-old woman for romantic purposes? Come on, y'all. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? That makes absolutely no sense. What I'm here to tell you, ladies of my generation, I'm here to tell you this today. Your chances of bagging a man who is making $1 million, $100,000, $250,000 or more, mid six figures, whatever, it's not happening. It's little to none. See, what I'm trying to explain is it's a different set of circumstances if she was with him and helped him build himself up and build his fortune. Because of the loyalty that she showed, she's owed something. Even the law sees that. You are a 40 or 50-year-old man. You've been married to your woman since you was in your 20s or 30s. Now you're rich. You built yourself up. Even the law says she's supposed to have some of that. All right, but a 40 or 50-year-old woman, a 50-year-old man has options, and the last thing he's going to choose is some 40 or 50-year-old woman to be his spouse or his mate. And here's another thing: even in a polygamous relationship, that I don't agree with them, but even then, why would I pick some old women to be in a relationship with? And here's another thing: I don't feel sorry for these women. I don't feel sorry for these 40 or 50-year-old aunties because I know what they were doing in the 90s. I was right there. I saw them. They were going to Freaknik. They was having a good time. This is what they did. The young men that tried to talk to them, right? They were too good. They were too busy. They pushed them away. What they did was they gave their passion and their interest to other men, the men that they chose to be with. Nobody pushed them on it. They made that decision at that time period. And this is their reward. This is what they're supposed to get. Now, instead of getting long-lasting relationships where they can see their children grow up and go to college, where they can see their grandchildren be born, great-grandchildren, all they have is old, fading, thought-like memories. That's it. That's all they have. And unless you ladies have $1.5 million saved up for retirement, what you're looking at is poverty. What you're looking at is homelessness. That's what you have to look forward to. Matter of fact, a lot of these brothers tease you and say you're going to get cat lady. You're going to be cat ladies. You're not going to be able to afford cats because you're not going to be able to afford a house or an apartment. All that's going to happen to you is you're going to be either eating that cat food or those cats. Now, earlier I spoke about polygamy. To me, when I look at that, that's the golden parachute for these lovely elderly women. And I'm not willing to risk my financial well-being to save some old woman who made poor decisions. So the answer for me is going to be no. And I think I speak on behalf of many very successful Black men of Generation X. We are not going to save you. You are going to go off and live whatever the circumstances of your life dictate. The idea that I would even enter into a polygamous relationship with multiple women, especially elderly women, is a ridiculous notion. Women by design are supposed to be a distraction from your job. They are there to do what? They are there to be your own private vacation in a romantic sense. So what do? They keep you from doing what you're supposed to do. And the last thing that a man who has reached his apex of power needs is a distraction. So multiply that by multiple women, 3 to 4 or 5 women at the time, dealing with health issues that elderly women face: menopause, kidney stones, premenopause, postmenopause, grumpiness. Couple with, I'm not doing it. And it's even more complicated if they have older children, and you have to deal with their family members. I'm not doing a polygamous relationship. I'm not here to save you. I'm not going to be your golden parachute. Ladies of Generation X, it's not going to happen. All right. Now, some of you are just not meant to be married, and that's something you're going to have to deal with. You're not married because you're not meant to be married. You're not wife material. Nobody chose you. Nobody wants to be married to you. You're not wife material. It's a lot of men out there. You're not husband material. You're not even relationship material. Period. It's not there for you. You're not that type of person. You can blame your childhood. You can blame whatever it is, but that's not for you. And let me tell you something else. Now that we're talking about polygamy in relationships, if you're going to be in a relationship, the best thing to be in a relationship, the best type of relationship is one man and one woman who wants to be in that relationship. A lot of you guys complain about women and their double standards. And one of the double standards that men have is that we get a chance to sleep around and mess around, and we don't get shamed for being promiscuous, for dating around. Some of you men have taken that to the point where you say that men should be able to mess around in relationships and women shouldn't. That's not the advice that I'm going to give you. And that's not the advice I give my sons. All that happens when you mess around with a whole bunch of women, you get children out of wedlock, you get diseases. And on top of that, you don't have the time to deal with all those women. You got a bunch of women that you're messing around with seriously. That means you got to pay attention to them. You got to read the text messages. You got to deal with them. And that's no way to have a relationship. You really should be focused on having one relationship, one substantial relationship with one woman, and let that be fulfilling as it can be. Managing and juggling all those different women is going to take away your ability to deal with the tasks that you have to deal with. Your wealth, your prosperity depends on you not being distracted by all these women. So that's going to be my advice on that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take a break, and then we're going to open the channel up, and I want to hear what you folks have to say about this. There's been a lot of this floating around. I know the gentleman, Fresh and Fit, they were just on some channel the other day talking to some white folks, and the white folks told them that that's not happening. We don't do that, okay? But either way, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to open up the chat room. I want to hear what y'all have to say. I know this is a hot topic. I appreciate you guys. This is Uncle D, the Blizzard King, and I'll be right back. Hey, if you're enjoying the content here at Dennis Sperling Unfiltered, make sure you support it by sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And also, hit that little notification bell in the corner so that you'll get notice of each and every one of our live feeds. Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App, make sure you contribute to the PayPal, make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks. All right, the link is in the chat room. Welcome back. Shout out to Darling Gonzalez. Thank you so much for your membership. I appreciate you. What do y'all think about this? I mean, where my Generation X dudes at, man? I mean, let's tell these folks, these brothers here, what we saw these women doing in the 1990s, in the early 2000s. We saw them thotting it up back then. Why should I be responsible for saving you? Why should I be your golden parachute when you're 40 and 50 years old and the best years are behind you? What purpose do you serve to me as a man? Why shouldn't I, after years of sacrifice and hard work, why shouldn't I go ahead and get a woman that I want to get, a young, beautiful woman who will be cooperative and feminine and those sort of things, as opposed to doing what? Dealing with some old woman who's had all her fun in her life. Free Game Podcast. What are your thoughts on this conversation?
I disagree with you on the polygamy part.
Well, tell me why.
The reason why is because most black people families are broken, and as a provider for my family, all the responsibilities of the home, having.
Go ahead. Are you able to cam up right now? Because I want to start having people cam up because I'm tired of talking to these things. Are you able to cam up right now?
No, I'm not able to cam up right now because I'm in the store. But
okay.
I can, when I go home, I can cam up.
No, but go ahead. Now, I want you to finish what you were saying. Are you in a polygamous relationship?
Well, I have entered one, but the woman mama died, and she went back home for a while. So, we put it on pause.
Okay, so here's and get a little closer to the microphone because I want you to hear this, and I want you to hear what I'm saying. Why am I responsible for taking care of these other women?
Well, you're not responsible for taking care of the other women. The women are actually responsible for taking care of you.
So basically, you pimping. They bringing money home to you.
Oh no. Well, that's not really pimping. If you want to put it in a form of pimping, then America works off pimping
anyway. I don't want to talk about America. I want to talk about you and the relationship with these women in this polygamous relationship. As a man, it's my response, and I'm coming from a traditional role. And I don't know where you got the idea of polygamy from, but some people get it from Islam, some people get it from Christianity. The man is supposed to take care of the family and the children and the wives. So where did you get this idea that the women are supposed to take care of you as the man?
That's not true. That's not true at all.
Okay, so go ahead and explain why it's not true.
You can go read a book from a woman named Patricia Dixon. She spent 10 years researching polygamy all over the world. And in her book, she had that a lot of different women had their own professions. They even work while in polygamy. It's not and this is all around the world, in Africa, the Middle East, India, everywhere.
How has that worked out for those people in those countries? Has polygamy worked out for them?
Well, if you want to be honest, a lot of these people. Well, the Middle East is pretty successful.
But they're only successful because they got a bunch of oil right now. But they're gonna go back to where they were 100 years ago after the oil is gone.
Yeah, of course. But
here's my thing, brother. Here's my thing, and I've heard you out, and I want to ask some more questions of you about this polygamy. Let me explain something where I am. I don't need those type of distractions from all those women. Where do you keep all these women? Are they all staying in the same house? Are they all? I mean, what about when children pop up? So you got 2 or 3 women pregnant at the same time. That's expensive.
Mhm.
That costs
Um,
money. Like, how? Where's
yeah.
the money coming from to support these families?
Well, of course, you don't get all of the women pregnant at one time, of course, and you don't overbear one woman whose duty is to basically, take care of the kids. But yeah, some of the women, a lot of the women do work outside of the home. It's not a pimp game. It's the way that they want to live,
So, what
and
is
a lot
your
of,
responsibility in this relationship? I mean, you just one man, and you got all these women you're dealing with. How many
but
text
no, no,
messages do you get in the morning? How many times do
I,
you get said, "Hey, bring some extra ice cream and bread"? How many text messages do you deal with like that, brother?
well, as of right now, I'm not dealing with that,
I
but I
know,
can
but
tell you.
the idea that you got to deal with all these different women, how do you make your fortune doing that? How do you even live like that? See, I'm
Let me.
interested in money, power, and money, power, and control, and building my legacy. I'm not interested in babysitting a whole bunch of women. And to what end? Is it that you want to have a bunch of children?
Well, no. Well, my experience, I see it a little bit. My experience, I was providing for uh, my wife, right? So basically, she was getting drained because she's at home with the kids all day. It's draining, and you get a lot of complaints. Her family is not intact. My family is not intact. So guess what else can you do?
Why don't you just hire a babysitter?
So you basically you still hiring another woman to be with your child.
Yeah, but you paying her to watch your kids and then she leaves. You're not
Yeah,
responsible for her health insurance. You're not responsible for her clothing. You're not responsible for what she leaves. All that is a distraction. That takes away from your ability to generate power and to accumulate power and influence. You constantly babysitting these relationships.
well
I
that's
don't get it.
2000.
It's not to
That
me. It's not a practical idea for the goals that I want to achieve in my life.
well you can't say that because
I'm telling you
ac-
from my perspective. If I had a whole bunch of women that I had to deal with, I would not be able to run my law firm, my entertainment company, and the other businesses that I have. That'd be too much of a distraction.
mhm. Well I can't
I would be spending all day babysitting women and what their needs were. I don't
mhm.
need that. I don't. I can hire a maid and a babysitter. I can hire a nanny or in-house person to come and take care of the kid. I'm not trying to deal with all these different relationships, and I don't get that. And so, but let's go to the other subject. The other thing was, are you taking on 40 and 55-year-old women from Generation X in these polygamous relationships?
Oh hell no.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll definitely agree on that. So,
I'm 28 years old, you know what I mean? And also too, um you know um I'm not I didn't get in polygamy fully because I noticed, hey, I need some more development to do, like you was
it's
going
not
to.
a.
Of
I go ahead, bro. You need more
uh,
development. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah, and I needed more development
Mhm.
for my finances, and just building my character, my leadership
Yeah.
abilities. Yes, monogamy is the foundation of polygamy. It's the foundation of polygamy. So you're definitely correct, but it's a lot of people who are successful that deals with polygamy. Look at the Mormons. A lot of
Man,
those, a
bro,
lot of.
I don't. Here's the thing. If it was that, if it was that successful of an idea, and it helped, everybody would be doing it. There's a reason why men don't want to have multiple wives because it's too
Mhm,
much trouble. It's too much management. It's too much of a headache. You would do better having one wife, having one woman, being in a monogamous relationship, and building yourself and your wealth. I don't see how brothers can even deal with that stress. More importantly, and what we're talking about is Generation X women. People are saying polygamy is going to be like their golden parachute. I'm not trying to save any of these old women from the decisions that they made in their past. I'm not doing that.
But the experience I got with that, especially with the older women, is a lot of older women, because I'm 28 years old.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm not fully ready for polygamy at this point. Damn near not even a monogamous relationship. I just had kids early, but a lot of older women in polygamy, especially between the age of 35 to 45, they looking for people to pay their rent, to help pay
Right.
their rent.
Yeah. Yeah, these women are broke, man. They're not coming in with six-figure jobs. They're broke. They're broke. And what they want is somebody to save them. And what I'm trying to explain to these older women is I'm not going to save you. If I'm the man you're looking for, you want somebody who makes $1 million a year, 200,
Mhm.
I will walk past you on the side of the street like you don't even exist if you're homeless. This
I,
is
I
what I'm
know.
trying to explain to these ladies. I'm not going to enter into polygamy. Let me tell you something, man. Because see, you may not understand from my perspective. For about the past, 10 years before COVID-19, I spent most of my time overseas. I had multiple women in my villa all the time. I mean, it was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them at a time, cooking and cleaning. And it was fun, great photographs. I got the photographs. It was a lot of fun, but I didn't take any of them seriously. Now, if I had to be responsible for all those women, the health insurance, the clothes that they wore, the food on their back, the food in the refrigerator, the places with the cars they drove, I got to make sure everybody got oil in their car before they go to work. I got to make sure all the tires are you kidding me? And still try to man. I'm their servant at that point. I'm the maintenance man. You understand what I'm saying? And you cannot build yourself up as a man. You cannot. You're gonna be constantly spending money. Women are a walking debt. Okay, she can spoon the money out the back door as fast as you can shovel it in the front door. That's what you young brothers don't understand. Women are a debt and they are a distraction. Thank God all you supposed to have is one. You understand what I'm saying? Polygamy is something that I don't know this woman that you talked about, but I've done. Not only did I wrote a book on polygamy. I talked about it in my books, Rules to Live By. The reason that men had to take up multiple wives is because men would often go to war and men would die. And because those men would die, those women had nobody to take care of them. So the husband, and if you look up the term husband means basically a farmer. You're somebody that husbandry, you're taking care of something. So you're responsible. The men that are left are responsible for taking care of these women and these children. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to do it. They will starve waiting around for me to wife them up and put them in my house. They will go homeless waiting around for me because I understand it's not like these women are innocent, not like they're widows. They had their chance in the 1990s Free Game podcast. I'm not here to save them, bro. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I do agree with you on a lot of the reasons why you say you won't do it.
Yeah,
And I understand because look, my mom is 48. My
yeah,
mom never been married. She have turned multiple men down.
yeah,
Multiple men down.
yeah.
I'm talking about good men, good policemen. Uh, Even my dad. My dad is a millionaire,
Hmm.
but I couldn't be in his life because of my mom. You
Wow.
know, and me and him don't have the best relationship because of my mom.
Because of your
And
mom.
he my mama
So
controlling the
I'm gonna
whole
ask you something
relationship.
like this. Why would I
hmm
take your mama on, man? Why would I
I
wife your
wouldn't take her
mama up?
on
The
either.
type of woman she is. Because see, it's not just your mom. I got aunties like that. You see
hmm
what I'm saying? I got people. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, brother. These are not virtuous women from the 1990s that we dealt with. Generation X was not a group of virtuous women that were waiting at home for their husbands to come home from war and then they became widows that way. They were starting it up. Look at the videos from the 80s and 90s, man. They complain
Yeah.
about gangster rap, but that was the rise of the thought generation, man. You see what I mean?
hmm
It's not my job to save these women. And why after years and years of sacrifice and setting aside my wants, now I'm in my 40s and 50s, my prime earning years, you want me to wife up a bunch of broads and save? Are you kidding me? Go ahead, free game. Where the ladies
Yeah,
at? I want to hit you ladies. Go ahead, bro.
yeah. I definitely agree with you because and those Freaknik days, and I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, by the way.
Hope
I live
City,
out here
Brick
in
House
Boat.
Road. Yep. Go ahead, baby.
And I used to be in the back seat listening to Master P. Got the Silk the Shaka CD right there, and I used to get out the car. I'm seeing them dancing all over the dudes. And, hey, I remember those times, man. In the '90s and the early 2000s, where these Generation X women,
Yeah.
man, and they ruthless, especially with their child support, man. They was ruthless with their child support. They used it as a weapon, and I don't blame you. If you was to be in a polygamous relationship, you need to get a 28-year-old, 25-year-old damn near.
Man, and the folks are bringing up Freaknik and Greek Fest and Bayou Classic. Bro, that was a daily thing. That's just when the freaks got together, okay, and show what they've been doing. That whole generation, man, they were just thoughts, man. They were just loose. They were the first generation of women that came up raised by the ethnists. If you know what that means, the ethnists, first generations, first wave, second wave, third wave, fourth. They were free, independent ethnists, and they were doing what they wanted to do. So I'm not saving them, and I have no feelings for them. That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all. Like, I don't feel compassion for these women. For what? Why?
Hmm.
All the good men that they passed up, who were electricians and engineers and doctors and lawyers, who wanted to date them when they were in their 20s and in their late 20s, they passed them up because they wanted to live their life. They didn't want to get tied down in a relationship. They wanted to be independent. Why would I sacrifice, my wealth and my time to shine in my 40s and 50s when they had their 20s and early 30s? You see what I'm saying? I'm not giving you my time. I'm gonna keep my money, and you lovely ladies are gonna starve to death on the corner. What you have to look forward to is loneliness, homelessness, poverty. You don't have $1.5 million, you are gonna starve. That means after you are too old to work, right? For that about that
Hmm.
that next 15 years till you 80, you're gonna starve to death. And I'm not gonna think nothing of it because you had your chance, ladies. And I know that's cold, but that's why they call me the Blizzard King. What's happening? Hit the #1 button if you appreciate that.
I'm gonna say this one more thing before I get off. I'm gonna get off.
Yeah.
I know this guy, and this guy he don't have no resources. He don't have no credentials. He don't have no certifications. He don't have nothing. He just now decided to get in a polygamous relationship because he was living with the girl's mama.
Mm.
Got 2 kids by this one woman. So basically, what he do is he get in a polygamous relationship because they trying to get out their mama house.
Yeah. I'm not,
You
man.
know,
Come on, man. Go
it,
ahead. Go ahead,
it,
bro.
it, and the girl is in a bad position too, and he gets the girl pregnant.
Yeah, that's what's
It,
gonna
it, it,
happen.
it, and they done. They done.
Man,
The-
it's
the-
nothing out when you're in a relationship with multiple people. First of all, black folks can't even deal with each other. You see what I'm saying? You in a one-on-one relationship, she breaking out the windows in your cars. Can you imagine being in a relationship with multiple women? That's just more of that headache. You think those women are just gonna get along and be nice and play nice with each other? You guys think that's what's gonna happen? Hell to the no, that's not gonna happen. Hit the #1 button, man. Free game. I appreciate you, brother. We're gonna let Salam Allah up in here. Free game. You can hang out for a minute. I want some ladies to come in here and explain to me why it's my job as a 40 or 50-year-old Generation X man to take up your financial burden. And that little funky 40 or $50,000 you make every year, that's airfare money to me. That's not enough. You can't even afford it, and you're not going to be making that long. You can't even afford to take care of yourself. Why should I have the responsibility of taking care of you? And don't come in here talking about the community. I don't want to hear about you shouldn't. Hell no, because the community wasn't thinking nothing about me as a black man, especially us educated brothers. Y'all celebrated everybody else but us. You didn't celebrate the hardworking electricians. You didn't celebrate the college graduates. You didn't celebrate the plumbers. And so as far as I'm concerned, you can kick rocks. If you're on the side of the road, you're in a homeless shelter, that's on you. I don't have any feelings for you because you earned that bed that you're laying in. But anyway, go ahead, Salam Allah. Welcome to the show, brother. Hit the number 1 button, folks. What would you like to ask Salam Allah? You got to unmute yourself, bro. Uh-oh, looks like you're having some issues. Let me see. You go ahead and try and get that together. Y'all hit the number 1 button if you can hear me. Hit the number 1 button if you can hear what I'm saying. Military guys, right. All you guys, man, like you don't owe these women anything. You as a man at 40 or 50 years old, a black man in America, according to the statistics, he makes the most amount of money that he's ever made in 1 year in his life at 59. That's your maximum earning capacity. From about 35 to 55 is when you're going to make the bulk of your wealth. Why would I bring in my life some old broad, some old woman from 40 to 50 years old who probably is harder to deal with than a younger woman? See, older women got issues. They got car notes and house notes, and they got things that they become accustomed to living, a certain standard they become accustomed to living to, and they're hard to deal with. Why would I deal with a woman like that? That's just a headache waiting to happen. You can get you a young, look, let me tell y'all something about me. I ain't dated a woman over 29 ever, okay? And I'm 48 as of last Monday. I've not dated a woman over 29 ever. My fiance right now is in her early 20s. My fiance right now is in her early 20s. I'm not doing it because I understand older women are a pain in the butt. They got health issues. They got health issues.
Can you hear me?
But go ahead, Salam Allah. Brother, what are your thoughts?
Can you hear me, my brother? Can you not hear?
Hold on 1 minute. Dante Adams is here. Let me get him, and then we got Salam Allah. But we got a young, so Dr. Leslie Preacher Black, she said, good luck with those young ladies. What are you talking about? Ain't no need for luck. See, a young woman is somebody that I can talk to and train and have discussions with. Older women are full of, it's like you fill with garbage already. You fill with garbage, and there's nothing you can't put anything clean in there. Old women are a pain in the butt. Everybody will tell you that. And all that older women do is try to shame men their age from dating younger women because that helps eliminate the competition. Doc, so you're welcome to come on up in here and get this smoke, baby. I know you new to the show, but I got smoke for everybody. But come on up in here. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about the good luck to the older. Let's come on in. You can speak on behalf of the Generation X. See, I'm not nice. Okay, I'm not a nice person. I'm not. I'm gonna give you that work. But anyway, man, Salam Allah. Welcome back, sir. What would you like to add? Then we're gonna get to Mr. Adams. What are your thoughts on this conversation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was just going to ask, brother, is at age 70.
You got feedback coming through your YouTube. So turn your YouTube. All right, go.
Can you hear me now? Yes, sir. At age 70, I'm a widower. I was married 48 years. I took care of my wife till she died. I'm looking to remarry. What's your advice for me at age 70? I don't want a 20-year-old. What do I do?
How much money?
I get retirement. So
playing in the background, bro. Your YouTube is playing in the background. You got to turn that off. I hear background noise.
It's not me. I'm only on StreamYard.
Well, let me do this. I'll talk to you with you on mute. My advice to you is I don't give relationship advice. That's my advice. Okay. I'm basically telling you my concern is you men will take the time and the resources that you have to continue to build your wealth and your power and your legacy and squander it trying to have unfulfilling relationships with women who don't deserve it. That's my problem. See, my problem is you brothers are going to grow these big, beautiful hearts from the age of 35 to 50 or 41 to 50 or whatever, 55, and decide to try to deal with some of these old Generation X has-been ladies, and you're going to squander the time you need to build yourselves up. The last thing you want is some older woman telling you what to do. See, an older woman thinks she knows as much as you do. An older woman has a whole bunch of baggage with her. An older woman is going to be a headache to you. You see what I mean? An older woman is going to be a distraction. All women are a distraction, but an older woman is going to be abrasive with being a distraction. All you're going to do is fight with this woman. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. You see what I mean? And it's better to be by yourself than be in a relationship with a woman who is raising hell in your household. And I'm telling you what these lovely ladies from the of Generation X are about. They about headaches and drama, because I grew up and I saw what they were doing. They were the ones dating the D. That was the first generation of women who it was cool to date D-boys and rappers and thug dudes. That's what they did. This is who broke them in. You understand? And this is why they're where they are now, because most of them dudes are jail. They didn't want to date the electricians. They didn't want to date the good guys who went to college. They didn't want to date the plumbers and the hardworking men, no matter how much money they made. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, that's my advice to you, Salam. Go ahead, brother. What else would you like?
Well, what age should I shoot for? What do you think? I know I'm asking for advice again.
Yeah, I don't give relationship advice, man. You do what you feel comfortable with. You see what I'm saying? Like whatever age you feel comfortable with, you know, just as long as you're happy. I'm not here to give you relationship advice. And at 70 years old, see, this conversation is for the brothers in their 40s and 50s, because they're now garnering power. You see what I mean? The older generation has died off. And so now the reins of power and money are being dropped upon us. And so what I don't want these brothers to do is think they are obligated to get in a relationship with these old 40-year-old, 50-year-old women who've been passed around for the past 20 or 30 years because, oh, well, no, get you somebody younger that you can work with, brothers. Get you somebody no later than their late 20s. That's what I'm talking to you brothers who are in your 40s and 50s. Leave these old Generation X chicks alone, man. And definitely this whole this polygamy thing, that's just more of a distraction. Solomon had a bunch of wives. He was the richest and the smartest man in the world, and they took him out. But go ahead, Salam Allah, and then we're going to get Dante Adams in.
Well, my closing comment, I guess I'm old school. I'm from the baby boomer generation. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying, my brother?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, the truth is, man, as long as you got money and you're healthy, you can date anybody you want to. You know, but I'm not here to give relationship advice. My thing is more power and influence. And I don't want these young brothers squandering those opportunities, being distracted, trying to babysit some old broad who needs to be in a walker. But anyway, bro, thank you so much. Look, man, you don't hit a wall. As long as you got your money, as long as you got your health, you see what I'm saying? You good, you know, and you keep doing what you're doing, man. But God bless you. Let me go to Dante Adams. What's up, Dante? How you doing, brother? Unmute yourself, sir. Dante.
How you doing, brother? Sorry about that. How you doing, brother?
Can you cam up, man? Because I want to start getting people to cam up in here, man. You know, I think that's important.
Oh, for sure. Can you see me?
I can't see you yet.
Can you see me?
Okay, I can see you now. Yes, sir. There we go. Hold on a minute. Let me bring you back up. So the general conversation is, man, and I don't know what your generation is, but I'm a Generation Xer, and I know what these lovely ladies were doing in the 1990s. These are not virtuous women. You see what I mean? The good ones got wifed up early and they married or their husbands passed away. The rest of them are they're around here. They was career oriented. They didn't want to settle down with a man. They didn't think everything that their grandmothers and aunties had told them, you know, they just didn't pay attention to that. They were career women. And so now they had their careers, but they don't have the relationships and they lonely, right? They feel ashamed. They feel regretful. But they feel it's somebody like my job to come pick them up and save them. Man, I'm not about that life, man. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on this thing?
Yes, brother. The generation that was before Generation X, we got to accept that the women failed them and their grandmas failed them. Because I grew up in South Central LA. I seen it firsthand how my generation, I'm 49, I'll be 50 this year.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Morningside in Inglewood.
Inglewood, okay. I graduated from Manual Arts in 92, so you must have graduated in 91.
You know it, because my mama went to Manual Arts.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, then. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, and we got it. What we felt. We don't want to admit that the generation of women before them had felt Generation X, and
Man,
they
the thing is, bro, I grew up. I remember my grandmother, and she was from that silent generation, and she was married all the way up till my granddaddy died. So those women saw the example. They just chose different. You was around LA when the girls was walking around with the airbrush painted on their backsides, advertising. You see what I mean? With the tight, you saw all that. We saw what they were doing. They were not like our grandmothers. You see what I mean? They were doing what they wanted. They was running after D-boys. They was running after thugs. They was running after ball players. They was getting ran through. Everybody had that little friend. Oh, I'm dating somebody. And they don't tell you who they dating. I know who you goddamn date. You mess around with one of them Laker Clipper players over there. You dealing with one of them ball players or something like that. You know what I mean? You dating a D-boy. You got a thug. You got a baby by a D-boy. I know what you're doing. I don't feel sorry for these women, Dante. I know what they was doing. You know what I'm saying? Rolling out in the middle of the night, going to Fat Burger, sneaking out their grandma's back window. You know what I'm saying? I know what they was doing. I don't feel sorry for them, man. You can't make me. I don't care what you say, Dante. I don't care who failed them. I'm not picking them up, man. I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it up at the end of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning. I ain't doing it. Hanging out at the snooze box on Western. One week and slugs the next week. I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not.
Chris Shaw Slauson.
Man, I'm not doing it. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for him, and I guess I'm wrong for that because I don't feel bad for him. You see what I'm saying? Y'all, they gonna look. Bro, they gonna be homeless. I'm gonna walk right over them, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I ain't gonna exactly just put it all on the generation of women before them because there was a lot of rebellious women that just didn't want to listen to Big Mama. They went on and done their own thing. I witnessed this firsthand, man. The girls that was going to UCLA, USC, and all that, they didn't want to mess with them dudes that was going to trying to better They went for the dudes that had them 6'4" lowriders, as you know. Yep, I seen this firsthand.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Talk to them.
Yeah. They didn't want to give you the time of day. You know, you be going to the same school they going through, UCLA, and they will give you the time of day. But they'll see a knucklehead that can't spell his own name riding in the 6'4". They'll be
curl.
Whipping,
baby. Whipping. Goddamn seat on the car just as spongy as hell, baby. Greasy before you can get one. I'm like, that's who you want, the dude up in there smashing it out, she get dripping grease all on the forehead, man. Ain't nobody, I don't feel, man, hell no, man.
From the Slauson Smart Me, you know it, man.
Going up to the goddamn Fox Hills Mall and getting them fake Gucci belts and hanging. Hell no, man. I can't believe, bro. Hey, Dante, I can't believe they trying to get us to wife these broads up.
Man, I can't believe it. Yeah, you like see our generation of women now. You a bunch of them are single, bitter. Bunch of them are single and bitter because they, like you said, they had their chance, but they wanted to be rebellious. They wanted to go out and live their life. They didn't want to. They thought being a traditional woman or wife, they thought that was lame. Or better that they thought the working man that was a working class man. They thought he was a what? They thought he was a lame. Yeah. It was a lot, and a lot of the women growing in South Central LA. A lot of women was like that.
I mean, my man Daryl J said these are secondhand chicks, bro. These are 5th and 6th and 7th hand chicks. Okay, they've been ran. Like, I don't know, I can't speak of everybody else's generation, but the Generation X group of women, they've been ran through, bro. It's nothing to see one with 20 or 30 dudes that done hit in the past 20 or 30 years. That's only one dude a year, and that was. I'm not wifing these broads up, man. I mean, I feel sorry for them, I guess, but I'm not wifing them up, man. They had their chance. They are going to be homeless. They're gonna be in poverty. Unless they got $1.5 million saved up right now, they're gonna be homeless because I'm not saving them. And your Social Security ain't gonna kick in like that. The way the economy is going right now, you're not going to be able to afford to live. The only people that are gonna survive are men who've been working their whole life and who can keep working and still work. And it's gonna be married women who got a man taking care of it. That I'm not, and this whole thing of this polygamous relationship, bro. They like, I'm supposed, even if I was to have a whole bunch of women, I don't want no old 45-year-old women in my goddamn house. All of them on menopause at the same time. They bringing their badass kids over. Their kids, I'm not doing that. That's crazy.
And that mentality, when they get that age, you can't tell them nothing. That's the reason why they in that predicament right now.
Yeah.
20 and 30 years ago, that's the reason why they had that same mentality. That's why they in the predicament they in.
And they'll destroy your house just like they destroyed their own lives. Yeah. And see, the thing is, and you ain't got to speak on it, but you from Inglewood, and I'm from South Central. And I know the type of women that you probably grew up with because it's the same mentality.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this.
Yeah,
I got a sister, and she's the same female that we talking about right now on this topic.
Yeah.
So I know this firsthand.
Yeah.
And she ain't married from this day. She is not married.
Yeah. And I tell Bird and La Louisiana up on Crenshaw every guy. I know what you've been. I know what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? I know what they're doing. You see, I'm not trying to hear that, man. I'm like, I don't have compassion for these women because I know this particular group of women. You see what I mean? And the only thing that we can learn from these women is teach these younger women not to follow that folly. Don't be like them. Ladies, let me tell you, young girls in here, anybody under the age of 30, don't listen to these old women. Don't take their advice. They will lead you down the path of destruction just like they led their own selves down the path of destruction. They did their own thing, and it has failed them. And what you're going to see over the next 30 and 40 years are a lot of homeless women, a lot of they think they got it going on. But see, their spending habits are not going to change, and their ability to work as hard as they've been working is going to change. And you got competition coming up from the bottom. You understand me? You got young people, things that innovation is happening. You got this old woman and she got a bad hip and she trying to keep up with these. It's not happening. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of these women been when they had it going on, they've been using man for their money. They've been hopping from one man to another. They've been taking, and then when they gas on low and they ain't got them looks like they had 30 and 20 years ago. Now it's like they ain't even got no skills because they ain't went to school. Majority of them ain't went to school. You know, majority of them ain't never had no work reference. They ain't have nothing under their belt. They ain't never had a job. So, you know, they ain't got no kind of job experience and work experience because they been dependent on man all their life. You know?
Man, look, let me ask you, why is it that these older women have such high standards? Why is it that they have such high, like, baby, you 45 years old, you got gray hair on your coochie, and you demand I mean, let's just be honest. Can we be honest, baby? Your knuckles all big like that. You know, you got them big knuckles. You know, you in the club drinking gin and juice. You know what I'm saying? We know your age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm being honest. Like, you don't fetch the same price that you did when you was 25 as you do when you 45, baby. Why I gotta have all this money and you, what am I getting in exchange for my $100,000 a year? What am I getting in exchange for that, man? I don't
you'll get an old wig and a bad attitude. That's all you'll get.
Yeah, man, you know, and ain't nobody trying to eat that soul food no goddamn more. Brothers is trying to watch their heart and cholesterol and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I can cook you good. What you gonna cook? You gonna cook me some? My sons, man, I'm like, they like, Daddy, we don't want to eat none of them hog maws, Daddy. We don't like them. I'm like, I feel you, player. They like, Daddy, we rather go to Starbucks. It's a different day. Like, dudes is into their health. Dudes are hitting the gym, and all you want to do is, I can cook you some cornbread and some collard greens. That ain't nothing but a heart attack waiting to happen. You see what I'm saying? So what purpose do you serve? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. A lot of these women ain't even been in the kitchen when their mama was cooking. They've been out in the street hopping from car to car. So you
Mhm.
know, you definitely they really ain't don't know how to cook nothing but like you said, they can't even cook a boiling water.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah.
I don't even want them cooking for me. Like, no, I'm good. Like you are not. I'm eating healthy. I'm trying to live.
Mhm.
Health is wealth.
Yeah.
You know, I want to live long. I don't want to. You don't even. I'm good. You see what I mean? And the crazy
Mhm.
thing is, man, you can't tell them this. They don't believe that they not the same. They really think they're more valuable as older women than they were as younger women.
You
I
know
need.
what it is?
Go ahead.
It's that lie it's that lie that people that been told to them since they was young. You
Mhm.
got it going on. You know what I'm saying? Any man wants you. You can get any man you want. You know that famous lie what they tell black women. You can get any man you want. And that lie they've been that lie been told to them for years until and they still think that they can get
Why
any man they want.
why do they think they can get? I mean, here's the thing, brother. I mean, why do women think they can get any man they want? Why do all these women, no matter if, and see, let me tell you something. If you're a pretty woman,
Mhm.
you might stand a better chance. But if you ugly and you out of shape, come on, ladies. Like, what else? You ugly, you out of shape, you got a bad attitude. I know people not supposed to say that. I'd apologize. I'm sorry, but not really. Okay, because I'm being honest with you. If you ugly, you out, and you know you ugly. You can look at your. If everybody tell you how beautiful you are, then you're ugly, ladies. That's how you know you ugly. If everybody always trying to tell you, "Oh my God, you gorgeous," that means you're ugly. Pretty. They don't tell pretty women how pretty they are. So if you
That
ugly, then you got a whole bunch of people who tell you you good looking and you pretty. They trying to boost your self-esteem. Let's establish
get
that. All right.
gassing their head up for years and years, over 20 and 30 years, been gassing their head up.
Yeah.
And then when reality hit, they can't accept it. When the reality hit, they can't accept it. They
Yeah.
can't accept it. Now
And
they
even,
all
no, go
go,
ahead, bro.
brother.
No, and
Now,
I was gonna say, even if you are a pretty woman, that don't
mhm.
mean I'm gonna put you before my money. I got stuff to do. If a man is making money, he's on his grind. You are not going to get him off of his grind, especially a 40, 50-year-old man. You might be able to get a young dude off his grind, but you're not going to be able to get me off my grind because this is what I do. You're not going to distract me. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to be like, I
Mhm.
got a time and a place for you, and then I got to get back to work. I don't have time to pay all this attention to you, miss. You see what I'm saying? So even if you
Yes.
are pretty, and much less wifing up some old woman, just old and pretty is that's an oxymoron. That's not gonna happen. You just an old lady who looks okay, and maybe
Mhm.
somebody who desperate enough might smash it, but ain't nobody trying to wipe that up. I mean, I don't get that, man. I don't get why these women think that they are just irresistible to all men. It's just not happening. You see what I mean? But go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I say, it's that lie that been told to them for years. You know,
Mhm.
gas. You know, black women can be gullible as they any woman can be gullible. You know,
Yeah.
it's yeah. So it's just that little mouthpiece people been putting in their ear for years.
And
So,
you see where it's got them. Y'all been listening. Y'all see where it's
mhm.
got. I want to get some more of these folks, but hang in there
Yes,
for me. I
sir.
want to get
Yes.
some more folks in there. Let me do a little commercial real quick. Look, you guys appreciate what I'm doing, man. I need y'all to hit the #1, but y'all got Uncle D in rare form. Okay, they
But
done. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I'll be out in the comments checking it out, man. But thank
Okay.
you, man. Yes, thank you, brother. Y'all have a good one.
You too, bro. Always good having my homeboys from my hometown, from Inglewood, where it's all good, baby. That's what I'm
West
talking
side, baby, west side.
about. All right, King. All right, yeah, man. That's what's happening. Morningside High in the house. But look, what I'm trying to explain to you ladies is you need to have some realistic expectations. Nobody's gonna wife you up, man. I'm not, I know damn sure I'm not wifing you up. And I can speak on behalf of a whole lot of successful black men. Unless you were with me from day one, when you was with me and you helped me get there, I don't have that type of situation. You understand what I mean? I don't have that type of situation. I'm definitely not gonna be loyal to the community. For what reason? I gotta wife up some of these old broads from the 40s, the 40 and 50 years old, just because they from the community. Are you kidding me? I know what the community was doing back then. You see what I'm saying? I know the thought and the booty shaking and the all I want to do is zoom, zoom, zoom. I know all that. I know what you was doing. You're not a group of virtuous women who were who were the pillar of morality back in the day. You see, so you can't expect brothers to say, well, I'm obligated to do it because her husband died in the war and she was a good girl. Y'all wasn't good girls. Y'all was nasty girls. They had songs out. I'm nasty. Janet Jackson, I'm nasty. Like, you was proud of what you was doing, so now you suffering the consequences. And far be it from me to come between somebody who is suffering the consequences for what they did. I'm not here to save you. We had a song out in the 1980s called 1990s called I Want to Be Saved. It was a shout out to E40. I'm not here to save you, baby. I'm not here. And the brothers are not here. It's about 100,000 black men in the United States who make over $150,000, $200,000 a year, from what I understand. It's about 100,000 of us that make that type of money. We got all the options in the world that we want. We got black, white, Hispanic, Asian, right? We got all that. And these are men of all different ages. Why would I pick some 40-something-year-old woman to wife up? Especially if I'm single. Why in the hell would I want you ladies to put yourself in my position. You got all the options in the world. You got young women. You got women all over. You've been sacrificing and saving and making money and going to school or building your business up, plumbing business, electrician, architecture, engineering. And out of all these different options, I'm supposed to pick this 45, 50-year-old woman. Do you pick old fruit in the grocery store? Is that your first option? Would you pick some old fruit and put that in your little plastic bag and put it in your cart? No. You looking for something that's young and fresh. That's what you want to consume. That's the case. Why would I pick some old piece of fruit to be with in my house, in my nice, beautiful house? Cluttering it up with your Geritol medicine. In there with your Bengay, rubbing it on your hip. Why would I do that? Ladies, are you kidding me? Come on now. Let's keep it 100 now. Put yourself in the position of a man. You haven't had to do that before because, you're women. And nobody has forced you to suffer the consequences of your mistakes. But see, society is now forcing you to suffer the consequences of your mistakes. Mistake number one, you didn't get married earlier to men that you probably should have married, who took care of you, who were going to be loyal to you, who had the financial means to do that. And now you want men like myself to do that. See, there were men, when you were in your 20s, there were men in their late 30s and their early 40s and in their 50s that would have wiped you up. And so now the men who are in their late 30s and 40s and 50s, they're looking for 20-year-old women that they can wife up. And there are going to be groups of those women who say, no, I don't want to get married. And there are going to be those women who say, yeah, I do. And I want to be in a committed relationship. You ladies had your chance and you squandered it. You wanted to thot it up. You wanted to live your best life. You've been having hot girl summer for the past 25 years. And now you want somebody to take you in because winter is upon you. And I'm here to tell you, as the Blizzard King, that it's not going to happen. You are going to be homeless. You are going to be lonely. You are going to be in poverty. You are going to be filled with regret, shame, and guilt. Period. Unless you got $1.5 million saved up to take you through 67 to 80, 81 years old, you are going to be homeless, ladies. Period. It is not going to be pretty. And here's another thing. It's too much of a demand on resources for you to think that you're going to be able to depend on these governmental jobs or these governmental programs. I promise you, I'm going to do my goddamn best to cut some of these social programs if I ever get in office. You're not going to be living off the fat of the land. And look, I'm not the only one that feels that way. It's a lot of people that are tired of all these programs that women who have made mistakes are using. Look at what's going on in China. They trying to get their women married off because they're demanding too much from the government. You got a bunch of women over there who are florists, and they give absolutely nothing back to society as far as the tax base. Men pay most of the taxes. Men pay most of the taxes. Women, and who are we paying for? The government takes our monies and redistribute it to these women who can't afford to pay for themselves. So what does that mean? That means you're dependent on the government. So what happens when the government cuts these social programs? What it means is you are going to be homeless, and there's not going to be a safety net for you. Here, I want to get some more folks in here. Hit the link if you guys appreciate this. Make sure you hit the #1 button. My man Anthony Holly said, what advice do you have for Generation Z? How do you make sure that you become a man of value? And also, what advice do you have for young men eventually want to take on a traditional role? Brother, this is what I'm going to tell you. I've been telling you young brothers this all the time. Do not enter into a serious relationship until after you hit your mid to late 30s or early 40s. And that's only if you want to get married. And you want to play a traditional role as a man. You're not going to be able to do that if you in your 30s and 40s and you dealing with some old broad that's your age. So the only thing that you can do if you want to have children is deal with a woman who is in those years where she can reproduce. That's the 20s and maybe the early 30s. But I'm telling you, focus more on the 20s and the late 20s or 20s. That's it. And then that's a woman that you can teach, you can deal with. See, a lot of these old women say, well, yeah, you just want a young woman that's easy to deal with and manipulate. You goddamn right. That's what I want. Why would I want to bring an old mule in my house that's kicking and bucking? Huh? Why would I bring some old mule that's hard to train? No, I'll bring a young colt in. You see what I'm saying? That can help me, that's going to be cooperative, that I can train. Yeah, that makes sense. Don't try to shame me for doing what's good for me. So yeah, brother, don't get married till you get in your late, to your 30s, early 40s. Okay, late 30s, early 40s. Because what happens is you develop as a man. You know, you dated a little bit. You see how women are. You've got a chance to build yourself up financially. All right. So, you know how things work. You 20 years outside of whatever your career is. And, but in that time period from about 18 to about 39, 40, you should be accumulating your wealth, you creating your friendships and your connections, figuring out what kind of man you're going to be. These are the things you should be doing at that time period. Traveling, enjoying life, seeing what your options are. You see what I mean? This is what I want you to do. Not messing around trying to deal with one of these hard-headed women. No, don't do that. That's just it. As I said earlier, women are a distraction. Okay? They are a distraction. They're supposed to be a distraction. They're supposed to take your mind off of the stress that life provides. Your woman is supposed to be there to help you keep peace in your household, man. And you can't have peace in your household if you got a woman that's you 35, she 35. She thinks she knows more than you. And you still building yourself up at that age. Life doesn't even get good until you turn 40 as a man, brother. And I know that's something hard for you guys to understand. But if you're an educated man, you have a lot of fun in your 20s and 30s, I guess. But you're still developing mentally and emotionally, and you're not ready to take on a relationship with a woman. I've been there and done that. Women are like women. It's just trying to handle a cactus. You're going to get poked. All right, that's what dealing with a woman is. She's going to say stuff. She's going to do stuff. She's going to poke you. And if you're too young, you're going to deal with it the wrong way. So just take your time. I don't give relationship advice. We talking about money and power here. Having a woman at a young age is a distraction. All she's going to do is interfere with your ability to amass wealth and success. Now, I'm not saying be alone at 60, 70 years old. Hell no. You get married in the best time for you, and only if you want to have children. If you don't want to have children, don't get married. Get you a little girlfriend, make it good for her, it's good for you. And for those women who say, well, those women just want you for your money. All you broads just want us for our money. That's what you see us as. You want us for our money. I'm okay with that. There's no big deal. That don't mean you're going to get none of it. I might let you be around it. You'll reap the benefits of the money. You're going to ride in a nice car that I ride in. You're going to live in a nice house that I live in. You're going to be right next to me in the first class seat that I'm in. That's the benefits of being with a man who's financially successful. That's understood. There's nothing wrong about that. That's not prostitution, ladies. Okay? Being with comparing a wife who reaps the benefit of her husband's success to a prostitute makes me realize that you have a whore-like mindset. And that means there's a problem with you, not me. A woman is supposed to benefit from the financial well-being of her man. That's normal human shit. Okay? So let's not take that somewhere perverted where you lovely ladies would like to take it. You can't shame me or these other men who are in their 40s and 50s, and they got young, beautiful women who reap the benefit of them being rich. I'm not saying leave with your wallet. Don't be out there buying these broads expensive gifts every goddamn weekend and taking them too expensive. That's not what I'm telling you to do, fellas. That's leading with your wallet. But at the point where you get a good woman who is submissive, who is cooperative, who is loving, who is respectful, you definitely need to treat her well. She definitely need to be able to go back and say, my man, take good care of me. And I don't care what you raggedy heifers think. I ain't never gonna leave my man and follow your goddamn advice. Now, you want to empower your woman with that. Make her realize there's nothing else better for me out there. Matter of fact, when other dudes try to talk to me, I'm gonna run away because I don't want to mess up what I got going on by messing around with this. I don't want my man to ever think I'm going outside of the box on him. Period. This is what your money is for. It all comes together. You see, this is what I want you guys to think. And what's my man? What was the man that played Scarface? God damn it, I can't believe it. I can't believe Al Pacino. He 82. His girl 28. Shout out to Millennial Money, man. Thank you so much. He said, we have had brothers like Dennis when I was coming up. I could have saved a lot of money. Yeah, man. God damn, man, I'm upset about this, man. You know, I don't come here on the weekend and talk to y'all. I'm upset about the fact there's a whole bunch of Generation X women complaining because all of them just turned 40 last goddamn year. All of them 41 now. See, they was starting it up 10 years ago. They was still starting at 35, but now they 41 and 40 or 55, and they trying to get these young girls advice. Don't do that. And I believe in marriage and relationships for those who are fit for marriage and relationships. But what you shouldn't do, we don't need any more good men trying to save these no good women. That's what I want to happen. I'm tired of good men saving these no good women that had their chance. It's not your job to save them, bro. They don't want to be saved. They didn't want to be saved. And let me tell you something. If you try to save them now, they're going to end up drowning you along with them. Okay, leave these old horses and mules and cows out to pasture. That's what you need to do. Leave them alone. Let them be. They made their bed. Let them lie in it. Let's get some more people up in here, man. The link is in the chat room, man. I want to hear what y'all have to say. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me Dennis, you have an obligation to the community. You need to come save these lovely ladies. You can't let them just be homeless like that, stepping over them with your fine woman on your arm, just stepping over them like, pull you to. Sorry, I heard you was in that Tupac video back in the day, that 8-Ball and MJG video back in the day, girl. You was famous back in the 90s. Now you're just an old woman. All right. That's what I'm not saving them, man. I'm not gonna do it. Let's take a quick break and come back in, man. I want to hear what else y'all got to say, baby. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions. I appreciate it. Let's keep it going. Donate to the Super Chat. Donate to the PayPal. Donate to the Cash App. It's your contributions and your donations that'll cause for this platform to grow. Let our voice be the preeminent voice in Black America. All right, so we are back again. So let's look at what's going on in the comment section. We got somebody named Personal. I know you lovely ladies are here. Don't run from me. Come on up in here. I'm gonna be polite to you. I might tell you something to burn your ears, make you upset, but you need this. I'm Uncle D, baby. I don't love you like that, but I love you. But I don't love you like that to not hurt your feelings. But I'm gonna do it in a humorous and caring way. And so Personal Shopper said, why do men, I'm gonna read her, why do men clump all women in the same category? There are exceptions to the rule. If you don't get your old 55-year-old self up out of here talking about all, it's women that are too goddamn old that for me to even consider being with. That's what category we're talking about tonight. Women that had their chance in the 1990s. Then they was dropping it like it was hot. Okay, they was starting it up. Okay, that's the category of women we're talking about. We're not talking about all women. Stop trying to bring the 20-something-year-olds in here with you, and stop trying to bring the women who are married in their 40s and 50s in the same category with you lovely ladies who decided you was going to thought it up all the way to the last minute, and then the bridge broke, and now you flooded out, and you're going to be homeless and lonely and impoverished and filled with shame and regret. We're not talking about all women, Personal Shopper. You need to come up in here and get this smoke. I got smoke for you tonight. You ladies are wrong. Okay, these old mules up in here mad. Oh man, this is good. Don't be mad, baby. You had your chance. We could probably see you in a Tupac video or something. You was an extra or something like that. You was gonna be famous. That's what I'm talking about, man. Don't get mad now. You had your chance. You had your chance. You blew it. Now you're gonna be homeless. Okay, that's where we are now. There's no hope for you. Okay, lady. Now I might be the only one willing to say this. There's no hope for you. You're not going to enter into a polygamous. I'm not going to get in a polygamous relationship to save you women. You're too old for me. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not here to rub Ben Gay on your back. Okay, I don't care about all your female issues. That's something that your thugged out baby daddy should have dealt with, that broken hip. Okay, I'm not here for that. Okay, I'm not here. You got one breast is longer than the other one because the baby chose one side. That's not my problem. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell. I'm not here to deal with all that extra baggage that you bringing. That's what I'm saying, ladies. Like, why should I do that? That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. You doing too much. You did too much in the 90s. You didn't get married. You wanted to follow your education. You wanted to date this. You wouldn't listen to nobody. You wouldn't listen to all the older women who would tell you, girl, you better slow your hot tail down. Them men's don't want that. That's what the old women. Them men's don't want nothing but one thing from you. And they took that one thing from you over and over again. And now you ain't, and nobody wants that thing no more. Okay, that thing is dripping and drooping. It's dripping and drooping, and nobody wants it. And I don't care how much you try to push that off and demand, I'm gonna have high self-esteem now, and I'm not. Here's another one. You got 2 or 3 kids, and you 40-something years old talking about you raise your standards, you reclaiming your virginity till you get married. Are you kidding me? Shh. What kind of game you trying to run? Huh? You reclaiming your virginity after you done let Tom, Dick, and Harry bust all them? Nah, hell no. I'm not going for that. You can't. You are who you are. Okay, you can't up your value. That's like taking some old Mercedes from 1980 and trying to put an electric engine in it. It's still an old ass Mercedes. Okay, you are not Tesla. All right, you are not the new thing. Don't nobody want that old thing. We don't want that old thing back. All right, and see, I'm speaking on behalf of Generation X right now. You brothers, we know what type of hell we caught from these lovely. They had songs about it. I don't want no scrub. Don't be no scrub, all that. We heard all that, all the disrespect. Payback is what you're getting right now, man. This is what you lovely ladies getting right now. You getting that. You wanted the thug. This is the first. Remember, Generation X was the first generation of women that said that they need a thug in their life. They wanted thug dudes. They wanted gangsters. They wanted D-boys. That's what they wanted. And then you got it. And you got everything that came with it. You got the babies, the diseases, the time alone, the hopelessness, the despair, the regret from the mistakes of the men. You got all that. And who am I to save you from that? That's not on me, man. Anyway, let's get some folks up in there. Where the people at, man? Fellas, am I going too hard on them tonight? Huh? Am I being too rough on them? Because I think they need to hear this. I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you, because if we allow this to keep going, there's going to be a new generation of women that follow that same stupid mistake and think they can have it all. Do whatever they want to do. It's not happening. Nobody's coming to, yeah, right, they want a roughneck. I want a roughneck. Huh? Period. You got what you wanted. And I deal with the consequences. Right. All the songs, man, we bring all the songs. Destiny Child, can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bills? All of that. Now, you want to do that. Now what? No, we don't want to. I don't even want to talk to you. We moving on. That's what we're doing. And there's nothing you can do about it. And I don't care how much these black powerites, I don't care how much they try to say you owe it to the community. Hell no, I owe you a goddamn thing. I don't owe you a damn thing. What I owe to the community is to raise my strong, decent, hardworking, young black sons into good black men. That's what I owe the community. To replace myself with even better men. That's what I don't owe you my money. I don't owe you I damn sure don't owe you my relationship time. I'm not opening my house up to a bunch of old women who had their chance. What kind of fool would I be? Are you kidding me? You lost your mind. But anyway, DMPA, what's happening, brother? How you doing? I think I'm going a little too hard on this evening.
Praise can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. I can hear you fine, brother. So we're talking about, do you feel that men from Generation X are obligated to date and marry women from Generation X, because otherwise they're going to be homeless and lonely? What are your thoughts on that?
No, sir. Because I'm 41, so I'm right at the. I think I'm that.
Yeah, you made it.
A millennial. That's the beginning of the millennials, but Generation X. I'm 1980. And everything you're saying about the revenge is true. I grew up in Washington State, and I was too white for the black girls. I spoke proper English, got good grades, valued myself, my family. Both my parents were married, and up until I was about 28 years old, I couldn't buy a date with a black girl.
Right. Go ahead.
I played video games, listened to rock music, played chess, all these different things, and it was that Urkel thing. It was like Laura with Urkel, all the black girls just disrespecting. And I don't have any children. I'm not married. I just bided my time, got my undergrad, got my master's degree, got to 6 figures, and everything you're saying is true. It's my time now. Ever since I hit 35, I've had my pick of black women, my pick. And it's funny because I think that all of us need to go to therapy at some time or another because we're black in America. But I've been trying to work out in therapy. Me now, I'll hear these women trying to spit their game. I see what they're trying to do, and I'm trying to get past. 25-year-old me is still in the back of my brain, like, back then you didn't want me, now I'm hot, you all on me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, so I'm still trying to figure out how to.
Yeah, yes, go ahead. They call it the vapors, but no, I want some of these ladies up because we got somebody in here, and the reason I read the comments is because well, let me say it like this. I'm gonna move past the comments, but the bottom line is, ladies, you had your chance. You can't expect people like DMPA, who's also Generation X, to pick you up and save you from your mistakes. You are going to suffer the consequences of your mistakes. You are going to be homeless. You are going to be under the bridge. Nobody is coming to save you. You earned that. If you was dumb enough to believe the hype, and we had songs back in the day that said, don't believe the hype. If you was dumb enough to believe those dudes who were lying to you, who were sweet talking you, then you're gonna be homeless. So you're not just going to die. You're gonna suffer first, because that's how the world works. You're gonna suffer and you're gonna be alone. A lot of you women are gonna end up living in a bunch of houses together by yourself, and y'all gonna be up in there fighting like cats. It's gonna smell like piss and vinegar in there every goddamn day. You understand? It's gonna be bad. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna end up like this. And let me tell you something else. The loneliness is also gonna come in when your friends who got married and had children and grandchildren, they don't want your old ass around them and their kids and their man with your complaints.
I'll do you one better, Uncle D. I'll do you one better. Black women, especially as they get older, they get harder and harder to be around anybody, even their friends. So your friends are gonna be intolerable. Your friends are gonna be flaky. Your friends ain't gonna have any money. Your friends are gonna be like are gonna have the bad attitude. You can't even keep a social group together because after 35 and 40 and 45, you got these ladies are so intolerable that they can't even be friends with each other.
Yeah, man, yeah. You know, and then you want to be in a relationship? Hell no. And then the thing is, man, it's like I'm not. You see, I believe in consequences. I accept the consequences of my decision, and I don't care who you. You could be a child. You're gonna suffer the consequences if you're around me. I believe I accept it because that's the only way you can learn. The only way people learn is if you let them fall on their face hard enough times that they realize that they can't do that anymore. Period. That's a bad thing. But see, these young girls, I want you young women under the age of 30, we'll say under the age of 35, you better watch. You better listen because you up next. It's going to be your ass on the chopping block next. You're going to be them old mules that these young boys are pushing out in the pasture. You see what I'm saying? Some of these boys, they 15, 16, 20 years old, they wives ain't even born yet. And you pushing them aside. They in college with you. And you say, oh, boy, you corny. Oh, you play video games. Them same boys is going to rise and become lawyers and senators and doctors. And they're going to earn their PhDs and their JDs and their medical degrees. And they ain't going to have nothing to do with your crazy butt. Y'all going to be the same age and they're going to be done. That's what these Generation X women are dealing with right now. Those same young men that you young ladies are passing up right now in college for that boy who seems like he got it going on. You passing him up for this fool, you're gonna deal with a fool's life. You're gonna suffer the foolish consequences. Yep. Go ahead, bro. What else you got to say?
And so one of the things about Generation X women is they don't understand. Men, we've been communicating for the past. I mean, it was in the back of our minds before, but now we're communicating. And also, if a lot of Generation X women, they've been operating as single women for so long, and they don't understand. If you walk through life like a single person, no one's going to stop you. We're not going to sweep in and try to, we're not going to, these love songs that you listen to in the 90s from Silk and Shy and stuff, those days are over. Men aren't going to break down your walls. They're not going to serenade you. They're not going to be outside your window singing you songs. It's not happening. If you want to walk around with that look on your face and that attitude, we're not going to fight you. We're not going to serenade you. We're just going to step. We're going to step out. We're going to leave you alone. If you walk through life like a single woman, no one's going to stop you.
And the other thing I want to bring up, and this is important, some of you women are not fit to be in relationships. You're not fit for marriage. Like, even if you you're just not fit to be married. You're not a person who should be married. Some of you there's married women here who shouldn't have been wives because you don't want to do wife stuff. You got married because it was a thing to do, but you're not ready to be you don't want to do wife things. You don't want to submit, you don't want to cooperate. You don't want to listen to your husband. You probably constantly undermining his judgment. You're making his life hell. Yeah. All you do is bitch and complain every goddamn night when he comes home. He hates to come home. Your husband spends more time at the bar or in his little man cave than he does with you. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to say.
Or I see a lot of Generation X women, they want a wife. They're supposed to, they think they want a wife, but in reality, they want a man who's going to be the submissive one and be a wife to them. And what happens is they rush in, they get married, and they think that's what they want. 2-3 years into it, I don't want to do this, and they divorce the guy.
All right, let me do this. Personal shopper, if you don't click in and come on, we're going to ban you from the page because you got a lot to say, and you're not coming in. You can't snipe from the comments. You got it. If you bad enough to type it, then you be bad enough to say it. Come on in and make sure you cam up. She got 5 minutes. If
Yep.
personal
Uncle D's got
shopper
the
is
smoke.
not, if she doesn't click this link and come in 5 minutes, she's up out of here. Now I'm gonna read this last comment. I know this is YouTube, and there's all of this hate and division going on in our community. You can't have a channel unless there's plenty of hate, and it's just sad. We're just no. You know what the problem is, personal shopper? The problem is now that men are able to speak and talk about how they feel, now it's considered hate. But for the 40 years, Oprah Winfrey was bad mouthing black men. Who else? Come on, name the rest of them.
Yeah.
Sally Jesse
Jenny
Raphael.
Jones. Sally Jesse
Jenny
Raphael.
Jones. As long as black men were the bad guys, well, hell, let me say this. As long as men in general were the bad guys, it wasn't considered hate. It was women venting. Oh, that's right, girl. We understand. You have a right to it. Women could say any goddamn thing they want to say. You got women on the internet right now talking about abort black baby boys. And y'all ain't got a goddamn thing to say about it. You understand me? So I'll be damned if I'm going to stop speaking the truth. What are we saying here that you consider hate? Men at 40 and 50 don't want to date women who are 40 and 50 goddamn years old. That's not hate. That's the truth. And if you had a daddy that was worth a damn, he would have told you that, personal shopper. But you didn't because your no good mammy ran him away from you. Now, I know you don't like that, but that's the truth. Your mama was hard to deal with. You didn't have a daddy in your life. And now you're hearing a man talk to you like you should have been talked to by your daddy, your granddaddy, and your uncles and all the rest of them. And you got a problem with it because it's hurting your little sensitive feelings. That's your problem right now, fam. This is not hate. This is the truth. People who've been living in lies see hate as they see the truth as hate. And that's what's going on right now. So I'm going to let you have that. You got 4 more minutes to come up in here. I don't want to hear nothing else from her unless she's coming up in here. You come up in here. Any of you other ladies who are sniping from the comment section, y'all come on up in here and get this smoke. This is what I'm trying to talk about. This is not hate. This is the truth. You got women lying to other women. Tell girl, you can have what you want, girl. You can have a career, girl. You can get married when you later. Hell no, ain't nobody marrying your old Geritol, gray coochie hair having self. Get your old ass up out of here. You too goddamn old. Don't nobody want you. 40, 50-year-old men don't want your 40, 50-year-old ass. That's what we're trying to explain to you ladies. And since it didn't work for you, we're going to explain it to these young women so we can save them. You big dummy. But anyway, go ahead, DMPA. Go ahead.
And honestly, if you think about it, if you look at the late 80s and the 90s, us 40 and 50-year-old men, we are probably the most romantic, simp, like scent-ridden men out there. Like,
yes, sir. I agree.
We talk about they had to have had chances with guys, and they just blew it. If you listen to the music, you look at the culture, you look at the sitcoms and stuff, we were just raised to be romantic, put women first on pedestals, and they just let it all go by. That's a time that will never exist again.
Ever again. It goddamn biggest simps on the planet. Black men born in Generation X. We loved our mamas. We was mama's boys.
Yep.
You couldn't even say lose their life behind talking bad about their mama. Even if your mama a crackhead. Well, she is, but you can't call her that, even though it's true. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all women worshipers. What they call it? This is the tribe of ISIS or something like that. We love these, pedestalize these women. That's why I tell it. You got the Queen Mother Goddess simp chip. It's a terrible thing. You know what I mean? Go ahead, brother.
If you get a room full of us together and we talk about our teens and our 20s, the simp romance, just down home, like stuff that we used to do for women. I could just go for days and days. I woke up right when I was around 35, but like before then, I have a nephew, and like one of the biggest learning experiences, I try to give him your content and other content creators, but what hits him the most, I've been his strong male figure, and he's, I was able to actualize into that from 35 and forward. But just telling him stories about myself, he can't believe it. He's like, I'm gonna tell you, you used to be. I'm like, yeah, I have to tell you this stuff. It's more relatable because you see your uncle now, the type of man I am now. But I share stories. I'm like, I used to do this stuff for women. I used to think that if I, Urkel got his Laura, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or, Roger got one of the sister twins. If you just work hard enough, you know what I'm saying? If you keep showing up season after season and keep simping, it'll happen. And he just can't believe it.
Man, it ain't no haps on that, man. What I'm and see, my problem is these ladies, they want, well, everybody's situation's different. I don't give a damn what your situation was.
Yep.
It's not my job to save you. We all had tough lives and tough situations to deal with. We grew up in the 80s and 90s. That was a tough time to live in the United States. It was hard. I don't care about that. You should have hooked up with a man back then who would have helped your life be a lot easier. You see what I'm saying? That's my whole point. And you didn't. And because you didn't, now you want somebody to save you. And nobody's coming to save you. I'm not saving you. You get one of these older brothers who's 70, maybe he'll save you. But not me. Yeah. Nah, I'm here for the money and the power and the respect and the influence. The last thing I want is some old broad holding me back because I don't have peace of mind and happiness when I get to the house. I got to argue with her. She thinks she knows more than me. I don't need your help like that. I want a nice, quiet, young woman. Okay, quiet. Look at that, quiet, young, cooperative, and I'll sacrifice. Here's the thing, man. They always, well, you just want a young woman you can control. You motherfucking right. That's what I want. What do you think I want an out of control woman in my house? I want a young woman that I can bring up, who I can teach, who will be able to adapt to the way I do things, especially if I prove myself to be successful at what I do. Why would I want some old hard head? Why would I want that? Think about that. But go ahead, brother. We want to get some more people. We're going to be in here for a little while longer. Y'all make sure y'all get the likes up. Also, if you appreciate this content, you should contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. I've yet to receive any Cash Apps, so show your appreciation. I don't ask for it that much. I used to hit you up all the time, but, those who like what I'm doing, you like this conversation. It's open, honest, hard-hitting conversation, and I'm not holding back. That's why they call me the Blizzard King. I'm gonna bring the winter on your ass. It's gonna be cold out here on you. You see what I'm saying? So, but go ahead and show your appreciation. Hit the number 1 button, check in, keep the algorithm going. But that's it. Go ahead. Remember, my whole focus is money, power, and influence, DMPA. And what you're not gonna be able to do as a young man, right, who's in his 40s and 50s, is try to manage a relationship with some 40 or 50-year-old woman and build yourself up.
100%.
Not, that ain't gonna happen. You see, I don't even see why people are trying to pretend like it could be any other way. What are your thoughts on that, man? Why are people trying to get us to date these old broads like that, man? Go ahead. So,
I normally date between 28 and 33.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the shaming has been going on for so long that it's in its fullest form now when it comes to women in their 40s and 50s. The desperation brings out every single chick that the sign language is in its Super Saiyan form in the 40s and the 50s because they're grasping at straws. Because my question to you, Uncle D, is what do you think Generation X women, what do you think is going to be the state 15 years from now?
Bro, they're going to be homeless, man. They're going to be homeless. I see it happening all the time. I see it happen to the baby boomer generation. They divorced their husbands, okay? They divorced their husbands. They didn't get married. They went back out on the dating market, and now they alone, brother. I see it happening all the time. You see what I'm saying? I see it happen to my mother's generation. There's nothing else for them. They're going to be working till they're 65. Well, I'm sorry, till they're 70 years old, 75 years old, until they get pushed out of the working market because they're not saving anything. They don't have any savings, brother. So what's going to happen? They say you need $1.5 million to get you from 65
to 85.
And the average black woman lives till she about 80 years old. And so they got 20 years. Are they going to be working till they're 85? No. I'm not hiring no 85-year-old people to work in my law office, man.
85-year-old with a bad attitude?
Bro, they're going to be homeless. There's no other option. They can't live with me. Bro, it's dudes right here on this page. they will tell you their mama can't live with them.
Yep.
And they don't have enough.
Your family yet.
Their mama can't live with them. They don't have the money set aside. They didn't get married, so they don't have a social security check coming from their husband. So they can't go into one of them old folks' homes. They don't have the retirement money. What's gonna happen to them, bro? What other options are there? Is the cost of living going down or is it going up?
It's going up.
So what do you think is gonna happen? Where are they gonna be? They're gonna be on the streets, man.
Yep, on the streets, or trying to, trying to move in with your daughters or their sons and move in their family.
You ain't coming over here. You ain't coming over here to Casa de Sperling. Matter of fact, I'm gonna move overseas so none of them could find me, baby. You understand me? Hey, give me shout out to my new the Cisco. You got you a wrench and Queen Jet Black. I think that's the first woman I've ever given a wrench. Queen Jet Black. She's been very supportive over the past couple of weeks. So I wanted to reward her with a wrench. And the Cisco. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. But shout out to all my moderators, my new moderators. I appreciate you guys. Y'all make sure y'all hit the #1 button and keep them popping. But yeah, man, that's where it's at. And see, here's the thing: the lessons for you. And I want you married women who are in Generation X. You know all that teasing they gave y'all? They told you, girl, you getting married too young, girl. Girl, why you marrying him? You won. Because they teased the hell out of you, right? And now they're about to suffer the consequences. Those same women that were giving you a hard time. Khalid, I'll be right back and I'm gonna bring you in a minute. Those same women that were giving you a hard time about your decision to get married to old boy, right? The plumber, the electrician, the college grad student. Now you reaping the benefits of that. You see what I'm saying? Now you reaping the benefits of that. And so you should be on my side. I want you over here. I want all the married women who are still married. Y'all stay over here with me because y'all made the right decisions. You ladies who decided you wanted to be free and get that thing to anybody who was willing to take it, you're going to suffer the consequences and nobody's going to feel sorry for you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Hold on 1 minute, DMP. I'm going to bring Khalid up in here and chop it up with him for a minute. Khalid, what's happening, brother? How are you doing today, sir?
What's going on, Brother D? How you doing?
I'm good, man. We are having a comment. I don't know what generation you look. You look like a young man. Look like you about 20 something. But
I'm 35, but I'm a millennial.
Okay, so you're a millennial. So Generation X, you might have been too young. You probably was young enough to see what was going on.
Oh, I saw it.
I don't feel sorry for these women, man. I don't feel sorry because I know what they were doing. You know what I mean? I just don't feel sorry for them. Go ahead. And I'm not going to save them. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, for me, I saw it growing up. I saw henpecked black men in their own household. I saw black men disrespected at church in front of people. So I know none of these women are going to tell me about the attitude of their mouth. I mean, the way I seen some of these women talk to their husband, if a woman talked to me like that, I'd sit on the side of the road by the mailbox in the middle of the night and put a sign around her neck that said free and wait for somebody to pick her up. That's just what it is. Because it's blatant disrespect that I've seen. And while you were talking, my main reason I chimed in is these younger brothers, watch out for these older women because some of them trying to secure a check by getting pregnant.
Speak on it. Go ahead, speak on it. Go ahead,
watch, because some of these bras, even though she's 35, 40, she can still get pregnant. So she's trying to get that child support check for the next 20 years or so. If she's 40, that'll kind of hold over until she's 60.
Yeah.
So be very careful of these women who are trying to get a younger man because that's what they're trying to do. I guarantee you.
And I've heard of that before.
That's the only option. They don't have another option.
They trying to get a young workhorse. Okay.
Yeah.
They realize they messed up. So they know they can't like you hear how I'm talking to them, they already know don't come this way. So what they trying to do, trying to get a young brother who in his 30s. And they selling you, this is what they tell you. Oh, you need a mature woman. Oh, you like them young girls? You need a grown woman. I can tell you what to do. You think you benefit. See, here's the problem, brother. And this is why I want you young men to listen to me. Why I say don't get in a serious relationship until you get into your late 30s or 40s.
Exactly.
You are not fully developed as a man in your 20s. Hell, most boys, they don't even stop growing till they get 20, and that's physically. Emotionally and mentally, you got to go through some stuff. You got to deal with some life. You got to learn who you're going to be as a man, what kind of man you're going to be. And then you'll learn what your boundaries are. And then you'll begin to set your boundaries. Now, at first, you might not enforce your boundaries like you should, but by the time you get in your late 30s and early 40s, them boundaries are set. And they damn sure set by the time you get 45. And so a woman can't run up on, let me finish, brother. I'm going to let you get back in. A woman can't run up on you with that game. And, oh, you need this type of, I'm that whole mama thing. They want to be your mom. They want to be able to control you. That's why these old broads want, these old mules out here, right, is trying to take young dudes and guide you right into their little web trap, right? It's a trap. Don't fall for it, brother. Continue building yourself up. Your goal should be money, power. Your goal should be influence. Your goal should be establishing yourself as a man. And then once you establish yourself and build yourself up, then at that point, if you want to be in a relationship and have children, then you should think about getting married. But go ahead, brother. I want you to continue to add on this subject because you're the first one to bring it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, and even with what you're saying is having those boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Even a woman your age is going to have more experience in game than you.
Mm-hmm.
So especially if she's older, you're at a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely want to have some type of boundary because that's the only thing you're going to have. She's already gone through other men and perfected whatever her routine is. So if she doesn't have good intentions, she's already got that game laid out. It almost happened to me. I jumped ship, ship real quick, and I saved myself.
Let's hear what happened. Tell us about, brother. Tell us what happened when you, a young man, you 35, and you started dating an older woman. How did it happen? Why did you get in a relationship? Why did you meet her? How did it end? Go.
It's two situations. When I was like 24. I had this cougar that was 34, right? And that wasn't a bad situation. But one thing I tell these women is the only reason I broke up with her is because I was getting with a woman my age who I went to college with. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking I'm getting around that age, probably in a few years after that, where I want to have children. Well, I'm not going to do it with a 34-year-old woman. And she didn't want to have children either anyway. So my whole objective at that point was, okay, which of these women is going to have a future with me? Mm-hmm. So that's why I left her. Now, the other situation was a woman who was 3 years older than me. This was the first time I lived with a woman. And she was pressed about getting married. And even at one point when I said I wasn't sure I was going to get married, she showed her behind at my mother's house to the point that my family came to me and asked me what was wrong. So I checked her. I was probably what you would call purple pill, but I checked in the car. I should have checked in front of everybody. That was my mistake. Mm-hmm. And then as I noticed things were going on, I'm thinking about getting a house. One thing she didn't know is the housewarming party was going to be an engagement party in my mind. And she still to this day doesn't know that. So if you see this, baby, you messed up. But anyway, at that point, I started to know changes and like her mask fell off. And then it was almost like a clock was going off where she needed me to hurry up and do everything that I was already thinking about doing. And I'm wondering what's going on. Mm-hmm. Like, even when she was talking about marriage, it was always about how other people would look at her. It was about what her family would do. It was about, well, my mom would say this and my aunts and uncles would do this. And I had to sit back and think, I'm like, well, damn, you're talking about everybody else except me, the man who's going to make you a wife, on how this relationship is going to work. I haven't heard anything from you. And I didn't say it to her. I'm just sitting back watching at that point. I didn't hear anything from her that made me think she actually wanted to be married to me. It was more about her just being married and proving something to friends and family. So I bailed out.
So what I want to know is, what was the relationship like with you and this older woman? Like, how did she treat you?
Like I said, she had her game right. At the beginning, it was good. I mean, I was one of these 100% guys. I was paying all the bills. Now, I wasn't balling, but she was low maintenance. And I think that was part of the long game she was playing at that point. Because me, I'm getting a promotion at work. I'm making more money. So she saw some things going on. But I wasn't, living extravagant or anything like that.
How did she hook you in? How did she hook you in? What was, because this is an old woman you dealing with. And you got all these other young women. How did this older woman hook you in? What was the game that she came at you with?
Well, at the time, I'm real, black love and I'm pro-black and all that. So she was talking that talk. Got to be careful with that, too.
Explain that. Go ahead and explain how that's used against young black brothers, that pro-black game.
I hate to say it. I mean, as far as you can look at my name and see, I'm into that.
Right.
But the practice of it, for the most part, has just been what I call dashiki feminism for pro-Black organizations. It's got a lot of rhetoric that sounds good, but when you look at the male-female dynamic, most of it is just pandering. It's just like structure of the Black church. The men look like they run it, but they don't. They're always worried about looking over their shoulder, making sure the women are supporting them. But I'm thinking, if this is your mission, Black people being progressive, what the hell else do these women have to do except support you if you're doing what you say you're doing? And even brothers who are, they don't get the respect. What is that one brother that went and showed his behind at the nail shop, at the Chinese nail shop, threw the brick through the window, got arrested a couple of years ago? You remember that story?
Yeah, I remember that story, and he ended up going to jail.
He went to jail. A Black cop, female cop actually showed up and picked him up. And then what happened? Those Black women were back there the next week with the broken window and everything. So that's how it often happens. You're just doing something, trying to prove something to women who really aren't supporting you. When you actually try to take the lead, what's the first thing you hear? Oh, that's patriarchy. And so with her, I noticed the more I tried to focus and have a direction for the family, for the relationship in the future, the more she started to pull away. When it was more me just kind of going along, making sure everything was taken care of, she was happy. But not with any instructions from me.
And I want to talk about that. So she wouldn't take any of your instructions or directions on how you wanted to run your house and the relationship.
Partly that was my fault, because I didn't set that up, like you said, set the boundaries up early, because I didn't have this game. Some of this I learned on my own, most of it. So that I didn't set it up early, and that was my problem.
But see, the thing is, that's why I tell you, brothers, don't get in a serious relationship until you get in your late 30s and 40s.
100%.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you, man. I used to think when I was in my 20s and 30s, I used to think, oh, 40 years old. And then I turned 40. I'm like, man, I feel good. I feel free. I don't have all those hang-ups about what am I gonna do and where's my money, money and shit. I'm good at 40 years old. You done spent 20 years building yourself up. You got your house, you got your business, you confident. If you made it this far, there's a certain level of confidence that goes along with being 40 and being successful. And so at that point, you believe in yourself more than you do at 20. Because at 20, what do we have to do as young men? We got to prove ourselves. We got to prove ourselves to ourselves. We got to prove ourselves to the people around us. We got to do all this proving. And then by the time you get 40, you done proved everything you need to prove to everybody because you there, especially if you become successful. So these women can't tell you nothing. So what I want you to do for me is explain when you would try, give us an example of the type of instructions you would try to give your woman and how she would, bat that away or disrespect that or go around that. Go ahead, bro. Because these young brothers need to understand that game that these old bras are running on. Go ahead.
So it would just be little things. Like, for instance, I'm not a drinker, right? Mm-hmm. And so it was basically understood that we didn't really drink. I don't bring alcohol in the house. I'm a social drinker. I might drink when I'm out. That's it.
Okay.
But I started to notice, and even my family pointed it out. And it got to the point where I knew it was a problem because we went over to a family member's house. And they came to me at some point and said, she's been sneaking alcohol when she's over here. I said, what do you mean? And they said, well, we started to notice alcohol was missing from the bar area. And eventually we started marking the liquor bottles. And every time y'all would come over and it would only be you two, when you would leave, there would be liquor missing.
Wow.
And at some point, it came out that she'd been drinking on a regular basis and supposedly has an alcohol problem, from what I can tell. Because it was that much of an issue for her to hide it.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing you brought up, man. These older women, they got issues. They got health issues. Some of them have STDs. Some of them have other issues. So, and they got mental issues. They got.
She had a rough upbringing, which I overlooked, which was a problem. This is why, like I said, I'm 35 now. I'm not marrying anything or considering anything for marriage past the age of 25. It's not even a question.
Yes, sir.
Because what I've seen from the women my age, from high school, college, I dodged the bullet. Because most of them are either overweight or baby mamas right now. There are only a few that are actually married. And those ones who are married, I'm not surprised. To be honest with you, they had those behaviors before when we were in school.
Now, how would you feel if, and you're a brother from, you Khalid Shakur Garvey, you definitely in the movement. How would you feel if they told you that you got an obligation not only to marry one of these women that's your age, but enter into a polygamous relationship and wife up 4 or 5 of them, and their kids, and their health issues, and their STDs, and you got to be their husband and you got to take care of them. So tell us, in your opinion, how does that set with you? Because maybe they think I'm crazy. I'm 48. I don't know nothing. I'm old. I'm damn near booming, right? Maybe I'm talking out the side of my head. How do you, as a young 35-year-old man, feel about them putting that obligation of dealing? And you know what they've been doing. They've been setting it up, right? These are not virtuous women we talking about. How does that set with you as a man?
Well, my problem is you can see a lot of these guys who are known to be on the pro-black circuit, and the majority of them don't even have one wife.
No.
Because they know what I know. Some of them are out here taking applications, still don't have one. Mm-hmm. Now you got all these women. Matter of fact, I guess you can say my namesake, Dr. Khaled Abdul Muhammad. He even talked about at one point, it was a Black Panther meeting or conference where he was talking about the difficulty of him having one woman. Because he was dating one and she found out who he was. Right. And she felt like she was in danger. She was scared. She wasn't, really sure what people would think. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a brother putting his whole life on the line for Black folk. Right. And he's having the difficulty getting one Black woman, because that's all he would have wanted, to be his and be by his side. How is that possible? A brother like that should have one, the North, East, South, and damn West.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you talking about Khalid Muhammad. You can't say he don't love his Black. Yeah. You can't say that. You see what I'm saying?
So if I look at a brother like that, I'm thinking, well, if he had a hard time with it, I'm nowhere near him. I'm not half the man he was. Wouldn't even try to say it. So if he had to struggle with it, what hope do I have with these same group of women that are no better now than they were then? Probably worse.
Look at Dr. Umar Johnson.
He's taking applications. Yeah, he's taking applications. Where they at?
He ain't married yet, and he about 50 years old.
Where they at?
I know he's better than most, because see, a lot of these pro-Black dudes, many of them don't even have children.
Nope. They never even tried to have a family.
They're not even dealing with Black women at all. Not enough to have children by them.
You're trying to sell a product that you don't want. That's what it's coming down to.
Exactly. And that's why, bro, like I grew up in that pro-Black movement thing, growing up in the 80s. They used to come to the house. We used to have the meetings. You see what I'm saying? I used to sit in the meetings. Even I'm sitting there watching cartoons. The meetings are happening at the kitchen table. I've seen all the maps. Cable Land, Nigritia. You see what I'm saying? The goose that laid to go to the niggas. Y'all, Ebonics. Yeah. All that. I was in all of that. The Motherland Return. I heard all of that. But what I saw was a lot of hypocrisy. And I don't want to go off into that, but the bottom line is it's them same people that was lying to this same generation that we're talking about right now. You are suffering, you ladies are suffering the consequences of the actions that you took and you made, even though you can't tell me you didn't know better, because you saw your grandma be married for 40 or 50 years. Some of y'all saw your mothers be married for 20 or 30 years and still married. But you decided you wanted to put that thing out there on the clothesline and let everybody hit it who could. That's what you did. You put it out there, and now you're suffering the consequences. Go ahead, and I don't feel sorry for you. Go ahead.
I don't know what it is, but I remember there's a man in my family. I won't get too detailed because I don't want somebody to see this and know who I'm talking about. So I'm not going to put nobody on blast. But there's a man who married into my family, and he told me. He said, your great grandmother told me if I married this woman in your family, I was going to have trouble. And he did. Now, fast forward probably 15 years after that, he told me another story. He said he went to that pastor and he said, what can I do about my wife's mouth? What can I do? She's disrespectful and all that. The pastor told him, it's too late. You let it go on for too long. Now, this is the man that talks to God every day. Yeah. He didn't tell him to kill a goat, give money, say a prayer, read a verse. He said it's too late. God can't help you. That's how bad it was. And it was so bad, this same woman, she paid for a family trip that I went on. And it cut short because I got tired of her mouth and went off on her.
Wow.
It was so bad, and I'm still underage. It was so bad. My mother was there. We all at the gas station. She hopped out crying. And my mom came and checked on me, and I looked at her. I said, I didn't lie. And my mother said, I know, because she knows how this woman is.
What'd you tell her?
And I noticed the gap between how she acted and my great-grandmother. It's like a damn shift happened where these women just don't have whatever that previous generation had. I don't know if it's the feminism or the media or the options.
What caused for you to be pushed to the point where you had to tell this grown woman off and you was a young boy? What happened?
It was multiple things. One, how she was behaving with just everybody in general, because I wasn't the only one on the trip that was basically bothered or irritated by her behavior, even though she was paying for it. You know, if somebody pays for a trip, you're grateful, right? But don't try to abuse that effort. And she's the type of person that'll do that. Well, she'll do something for you and then try to use it as a way to hook you to get you to accept other things like disrespect or her talking crazy to you. And so eventually, this is probably a 4 or 5 day trip. So that wears on you. And me, I'm the type of person, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let you slide for a long time.
What'd you end up
go off?
Yeah.
If I go off, there's no coming back. And I'm going to say everything that I could have said, and it's going to hurt.
So what did you tell her? What was it that you determined about her that you said that was the truth? What would you say?
It was basically telling her, one, everybody's sick of you on this trip. You're not a great grandma, because she always tried to fill that gap. And I told her to her face, you're not her, you'll never be her. You don't have a chance in hell. Your behavior isn't even like that. And I told her, I said, the way you talk to your husband is disrespectful. Now, mind you, I'm still 16, 17 years old. And I said, you're not going to talk to me like that. I don't care if you did pay for this trip.
Praise
and
God.
Her husband tried to shut it down. And I told him, no, I got it. He was driving. And I'm like, man, if you ain't going to say nothing, here I am underage. I shouldn't have to have this conversation with your wife, and I'm underage and you're a grown man, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Man, let me just say this. I thank God for you young brothers. Like, let me tell you something, man. About 10 or 15 years ago, they used to give you young brothers a hard time about your little skinny jeans and whatnot like that. And I said, but you know what, they hard though. They might be wearing them skinny jeans, but they hard. They look at them out there protesting.
I was a big t-shirt generation though.
Yeah, okay, but
I was a big t-shirt.
Okay, so I was kind of in that too. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I came from the saggy pants, sweatshirt, Dickies generation. You was a big t-shirt generation. But I love you, brothers, because y'all have backbone. You know, and you can't say you got it from your fathers, because I know where your fathers were. But
I didn't get it.
But
I had to learn them on.
Yes, sir. But for some reason, you young brothers, I like you all more than I like some of these Generation X dudes, these spineless Generation X dudes that I grew up with. They have no backbone. They won't speak the truth to these women. They rather be in a relationship with a woman and lie to her than speak the truth and risk her leaving. Because they're more concerned about appeasing these women than maintaining a masculine frame and their dignity. I'm not like them. And see, let me tell you something. One of the best things I did was get a divorce, because I understand being married to a woman from the Generation X, the reason it lasted 4 years is because we couldn't get along. God bless her. You see what I mean? But we couldn't get along. And I'm not the type of man that's going to sit down there and just take it. You see, you're not going to disrespect me. You're going to follow this program. You're going to do what I say do in my house when I'm paying all the bills, period. That's how it's going to be. It's not, and if you can't, then we don't need to be together. And so that's why I got a divorce. Divorce was when I'm a better father because I got a divorce, because I don't have some woman meddling in how I need to raise my boys to be better men. And that's why I have such a good product as far as these young boys, because I've been able to input into them without the interference of a woman. You see what I'm saying, brother? These women have that, and I can't speak of everybody's generation, but I can talk about this Generation X very well because I know them. I was raised with them. I know what they were doing. I know what they're gonna do. And the last thing you brothers need to do is try to give them a second chance. They had their chance in the 1990s, and you brothers need to let them go. But anyway, man, it's 2 hours in. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate your words of wisdom. Shout out to everybody who came through. We had a great show tonight. If you appreciate it, hit the #1 button. I appreciate you guys. But other than that, man, as I always say at this time, this is Uncle D, and I'm out.